tonight, Australia mourns its first fatality from the London bombings.
Our hearts go out to his family and also to his friends.
Jail for the mastermind of a multi-million-dollar credit card scam, how he was eventually caught. And the remarkable rescue of a woman and her baby from a collapsed building. Good evening, I'm Deborah Knight. Welcome to 10's Late News. Also tonight, why the Prime Minister's reviving the idea of an identity card. How an American student's audition tape for an Australian stunt school landed him in trouble with the law.
It's enjoyable because it's scary, because of the fear, because of the adrenaline rush.
And the countdown to the launch of the latest Harry Potter book.
We have people responsible for making sure that those cartons are not opened until 9:01 tomorrow morning.
The Da Vinci Code inspired magazine spread that's causing a religious row.
If anyone gets a bee in their bonnet, they're actually going against what the basis of religion is supposed to be.
And in sports tonight, what sparked Leighton Hewitt's slanging match with his Davis Cup opponent. First tonight, there have been dramatic developments in the worldwide hunt for those behind the London terror attacks. There's confirmation that the alleged bomb maker has been arrested in Cairo. It's believed he studied biochemistry at Leeds University and has links to a flat where explosives were found. It was rented to the fourth bomber, Jamaican-born Lindsay Germain. Authorities have been searching for the suspect who left Britain 2 weeks before the 4 fatal explosions. The news comes as Australia mourns its first fatality from the bombings, Melbourne man Sam Lai.
The London bombings have already claimed so many lives. Now an Australian is among them. 28-year-old Melbourne man Sam Lai died today in London's National Hospital. He'd been on life support for more than a week.
A sad event, particularly for his family, and our hearts go out to his family and also to his friends.
The IT worker was on the top deck of the number 30 bus when the suicide bomber struck. He suffered massive head injuries. Family members flew from Melbourne to be with him, but their bedside vigil wasn't enough to pull him through.
It's a tragedy that an Australian should be amongst those who have been killed in London, but you can rest assured that the Australian government will do all it can to assist the British.
Only 3 Australians remain in hospital. Gillian Hicks, the most seriously injured, her condition listed as critical but stable. Today's tragic news comes after a day of reflection across the UK. Thousands attended an evening commemoration in Trafalgar Square to remember the lives lost and ponder the terrible goals of the killers.
One was that we should turn on each other like animals trapped in a cage, and they failed.
Australians also among the crowd as the world united in grief.
Every race, every gender, age, everything, everyone's together. They're not dividing us, they're uniting us.
While security has been increased for the event, Scotland Yard is remaining tight-lipped about a suicide bomber response plan drafted last year. It proposes to shoot bombers on the spot, with marksmen instructed to aim for the head. But the only thing focused on Hasib Hussain at Luton Railway Station was a security camera. The teenager who blew up the bus was caught on film, carrying the 5-kilogram bomb on a deadly mission that would claim 13 lives. As Army bomb disposal teams swarm Leeds, finding out who bankrolled the operation is proving difficult.
Who actually committed the attack? Who supported them? Who financed them? Who trained them? Who encouraged them?
In London, Dan Nolan, 10 News.
Terrorism and security will dominate the Prime Minister's agenda on his way tonight to Washington for an official visit. He's hinted that a controversial national ID card could be back on the agenda in the wake of the London bombings and recent immigration bungles. John Howard's visit to the United States and Britain has been planned for some time, but now there's added urgency.
There is probably no more important time for me to be having discussions with the leaders of the 2 countries.
After London's terror attack, the Prime Minister is reconsidering a national identity card for Australians.
I haven't said that we're going to do it, and you shouldn't assume we are, but it ought to be back on the table.
That's despite his Attorney General ruling them out just 3 days ago. Mr Howard has also been a vocal opponent of ID cards, but is now considering whether they'd improve border security.
The controversial issue was first raised as a way of preventing Australians being unlawfully held in immigration detention. The problem highlighted in yesterday's scathing Palmer report. The government is still smarting over it.
There's no whitewash there at all. It is a full-on, rip the Band-Aid off, fix it issue, and we're dealing with it.
Still, the calls for the minister's sacking and a royal commission are growing.
How can there be public confidence in a system where, when you're only given the power to scratch the surface of a department, you find an absolute mess?
Cornelia Rao, the woman who sparked the inquiry, has accepted the government's apology but wants more.
It's right to give me compensation for the time that I've been in the detention centres, and it's very bad that I have to have been put through so much hardship.
Yoni Mellor, 10 News.
The mastermind of a multi-million-dollar credit card scam will serve as little as 3 years behind bars. The racket fell apart when thousands of fake cards were found at Sydney Airport.
It was a sophisticated fake credit card scam, and it worked on 2 levels. Some cards were made locally, but the bulk were brought in from Malaysia. The plan unravelled last year when the counterfeit cards were spotted in the luggage of a second man. 800 of the fakes were for Jian Wang's scam. He already had 400 made for him in Sydney. Each card netted, on average, $4,000. The total potential loss for the 1,200 cards coming in at $4.2 million. District Court Judge Berman summed up Wang's motive as greed. His guilty plea's recognition of the inevitable after phone intercepts from federal police caught him talking about his plans. A feature of the dodgy cards was their limited lifespan. Each could only be used a few times before being disposed of. Wang faced a maximum jail sentence of 10 years for conspiracy to use the cards and another 10 for making false instruments. He was given a total of 4.5 years behind bars this afternoon.
The case once again underlines the advantages of making an early guilty plea. Wang was the kingpin of the operation, yet he'll serve 1.5 years less time in jail than the man who imported the cards but who pled not guilty.
The 39-year-old has been in custody since his arrest in June last year. He could start his parole in less than 2 years' time. Kevin Wild, 10 News.
There's been outrage over the sentence handed down to a former prison guard. Kale David Jurosevich was found guilty of illegally accepting money from an undercover officer for agreeing to smuggle steroids into Australia's most secure jail, the Supermax at Goulburn. But he was given 500 hours community service instead of a prison term, the judge conceding there was no way to protect him while behind bars. A jury acquitted Jurosevich of sneaking mobile phones into the jail because he claimed he and his family were threatened by inmates. Damning findings have been handed down in the controversial case of a high-profile lawyer who received a fine for killing a cyclist in a hit-and-run. A Royal Commission concluding that police delays compromised the investigation. The report was hand-delivered to South Australia's Governor Marjorie Jackson-Nelson this morning, its findings scathing of police.
It was a Royal Commission we had to have, and I'm pleased that we went ahead.
Ian Humphrey died after being hit by Eugene McGee's four-wheel drive north of Adelaide. A high-profile lawyer, McGee was arrested more than 6 hours later. His blood alcohol level never tested, even though police smelled liquor on his breath. Royal Commissioner Greg James describes that failure as inexcusable. Commissioner James found the conduct of the police investigation inappropriate in every respect, with senior officers confused as to whether or not they could even make an arrest.
When things go wrong, and particularly if a lot of things go wrong or are perceived to go wrong, people always become worried that an underlying cause is something very sinister.
But he found no evidence of favouritism or corruption. The police commissioner concedes things could have been done better.
I think the findings and the recommendations are acceptable.
For me personally, the Royal Commission was very therapeutic to actually hear those very questions that I've been asking for such a long time.
Proof enough, says the government, that such an inquiry was warranted.
This is a total vindication of our intervention following the case.
McGee could yet face further charges of evading police. That material contained in a second secret report, now in the hands of the state's top prosecutor. Louise Gorman, 10 News. Incredible scenes in New York after a supermarket collapsed, trapping a woman and her baby. The building was in the process of being demolished when a wall gave way.
Demolition work was already underway when the building collapsed across the street without warning, trapping pedestrians under a mass of concrete and rubble. An army of emergency workers and passers-by searching desperately for survivors.
There was a woman who was half in, sticking half in, half out. About 3 other guys and I grabbed her and we started pulling her out. And then she started screaming for her baby.
The area was cleared as frantic rescuers formed a human chain, removing debris piece by piece. The tiny baby finally pulled from the devastation, unconscious but alive.
This baby wasn't crying, which did not seem like a good sign. It was very, very sad and scary.
But incredibly, the 7-month-old infant is expected to survive. 4 adults were also pulled free, 5 rescuers among the injured. The former supermarket was being demolished to make way for a skyscraper when it came toppling down.
I just felt a swoosh behind me. I turned around. Everything was collapsing.
Investigators suspecting workplace violations as they try to pinpoint what caused the building to crumble. Michelle Regan, 10 News.
When 10's Late News returns, the unusual weapon a shopkeeper used to scare off armed robbers. Also coming up, a wannabe stuntman's bizarre excuse for his dangerous driving moves.
It's enjoyable because it's scary, because of the fear, because of the adrenaline rush.
And Aussie actor Geoffrey Rush, the hot tip for America's Top Television Award.
They say that you can smell fear.
On a new Criminal Intent, this restaurant's got a killer reputation. Don't mess with the head chef, or you could be mincemeat.
It's an insane thought.
All new Criminal Intent, 8:30 Sunday.
With free stamp duty, free registration and free compulsory third-party insurance, the Honda CR-V is now more intimidating than ever. This is a Virgin Blue flight, as seen by passenger Tom Andrews. This is passenger Tom Andrews, as seen by Virgin Blue crew member Shay Phillips.
Nobody beats Bunnings Warehouse on price. Here's proof. 4-litre flat plastic paint, $14.50. GMC petrol generator, $98. 1-litre glyphosate weed killer, $5.98.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
There's only 200 vacuum cleaners at 50% off.
The world's best brands, 50% off.
To get your vacuum cleaner 50% off this weekend, you must have a trade-in.
So 50% off weekend.
Not every vacuum cleaner in the store is 50% off.
Here's a wingnut come up with the idea of coming over here. On you, spuds.
Sparkles back there.
Hang on, boys.
Nice pub.
Yours, Gage. The biggest whinger I've ever heard in your life. See, what would you do, Wayne?
Great idea to come out of here, Sparkles.
Stop your whinging.
Keep it quiet.
That's it, boys. We're going back to Vic.
When you live in a dry state on earth, you don't want anyone else drinking your beer. West End Draft.
You're watching 10's Late News. Another extortion threat has been sent to Master Foods. The company says it's received a 5th letter, again threatening to contaminate Snickers and Mars bars. More than 3 million chocolate bars have already been removed from sale and destroyed in New South Wales. A woman who stabbed her husband to death has been found not guilty of murder because of mental illness. Marlene Rees killed her husband Michael with a carving knife as he drove along the Sydney freeway in 2002. The then 50-year-old woman had been suffering delusions and wrongly believed Michael was trying to poison her. Rees ended up in a wheelchair after suffering a fall in custody, severely injuring her spine. Her lawyers today successfully argued she be placed in her psychiatrist's care, so treatment for her mental and physical problems can continue. As many as 9 farm animals are dead after a vicious dog attack overnight in a high school agricultural farm. Police were called to the hobby farm on the New South Wales Central Coast this morning after witnesses reported seeing a pair of dogs, believed to be Siberian Huskies, attacking the sheep. Several had already died, including 2 lambs. Several others were euthanased by a vet. 3 more suffered minor injuries. The dogs were captured by local authorities. Police are investigating how they got into the compound. A shopkeeper has scared off armed bandits with an unusual weapon, a mop. 2 men wearing balaclavas stormed into his store, hoping to clean out the till.
Barry Richards' mop has taken on a new status. It may well have saved his life. He was cleaning the floors of his general store after 7 p.m. when armed bandits burst in.
The guy comes to the counter with the gun and says, "Give us the money." The instinctive reaction is pick up the mop, swing the mop, knocking the straw stand, chewies, everything goes flying.
The 54-year-old says the wet mop sprayed water over the 2 stunned and nervous men.
The guy's still got the gun pointed at me. I'm thinking, this guy could probably shoot me. I better get out of here.
It appears the masked men were equally shocked by his mop manoeuvre. They fled without a cent.
Certainly his actions were extremely brave, but I definitely wouldn't recommend other people to do that.
Police believe someone must have seen a getaway car. Mr. Richards says the ordeal lasted just 15 seconds, but he's promised his wife he'll think twice before confronting armed robbers again.
Well, give him the money. let him have it and go. It's not worth the risk.
The father of 5, better known for holding the footy tipping competition, is the talk of Diggers Rest. His story fertile ground for humour, even though the would-be robbers made a clean getaway.
Make sure that when I came in, he didn't attack me.
Martine Griffiths, 10 News.
An American student's efforts to impress an Australian stunt school have landed him in big trouble with the police. 20-year-old Brian Crawford told officers he was making a video in the hope of getting into an Australian stunt school. He was pulled over by an off-duty policeman while performing a series of moves in a car, travelling at 90 kilometres an hour.
It's enjoyable because it's scary, because of the fear, because of the adrenaline rush.
Crawford faces charges including conspiracy, disorderly conduct and recklessly endangering another person, not to mention himself. Actor Christian Slater has turned down a plea bargain over charges of sex abuse. Slater refused the offer of 3 days in community service in exchange for pleading guilty to groping a woman's buttocks. The 35-year-old says the charges should be dismissed. Slater narrowly avoiding another altercation with the media outside the court.
Look at this. Don't you dare hit me again.
I would say that there's more chaos right here now, and it's hilarious.
If found guilty, Slater could spend a year in jail. Australian actor Geoffrey Rush has been nominated for America's top television award. His portrayal of comedian Peter Sellers earning him an Emmy nomination for Most Outstanding Lead Actor in a miniseries.
And Geoffrey Rush, The Life and Death of Peter Sellers.
The biopic, which screened in cinemas here, gained a whopping 16 nominations. Ten's Everybody Loves Raymond received 13 nods. And Hugh Laurie was nominated for Best Actor for his role in House. Still ahead on 10's Late News, Harry Potter fans count down to the new book's release. The plot twists the publishers have been trying to keep secret.
So they always leave you with something that you want to know, but they only reveal at the end.
Also, why this former soapy star is more than comfortable wearing Jesus robes. And in sports tonight, how a spiteful Davis Cup match sparked a war of words.
The Dome reaches fever pitch when the Demons battle the Sydney Swans for the Ron Barassi Cup. It's 4th versus 5th in a colossal encounter. Melbourne-Sydney live 6:30 Saturday.
AFL Saturday on 10.
Nice and fresh and tasty, really tasty. Yum!
Fantastic. Do you have any idea where those sandwiches come from?
Hello, ladies. How are you?
Deli Choices, the fresh taste from McDonald's.
Value-packed special edition Storm Ute, the ultimate ride.
What a know-it-all.
Man City against...
This guy is so boring.
I'm the man from Alpha.
Oh, shoot.
Go hard from the off. Hewitt's highest placing in the French.
Semis.
Quarters.
Quarters. Then what?
Hit him with one of Brett Lee's favourite bands. S Club 7. Then ask him how many women NBA's Will Chamberlain betted. He'll say...
Who cares?
You'll say...
Well, your wife, for one.
Alpha, the new heavyweight monthly magazine, only $2 when you buy the Advertiser or Sunday Mail.
Good luck.
It's sport and it's personal.
BFit's mid-year fitness sale. Save up to $200 on exercise bikes. Weight benches from $135. Home gyms from $499. Save up to $400 on electric treadmills. BFit's mid-year sale, on now.
After 6 months' silence, Mexico's most famous volcano has surged back to life. Known as the Volcano of Fire, it sent out a huge cloud of ash and vapour 5 kilometres into the atmosphere. It's erupted 15 times within 24 hours, but residents living in its shadow haven't been evacuated. Instead, they've been told to monitor official reports. To Finance News with Tom Petrovski at Commonwealth Securities, and a rather lacklustre day on the market to finish a good week, Tom.
It was, Deborah. The market just couldn't get out of first gear today, and with the price of oil falling by almost 4% last night, the day boiled down to a tug-of-war between falling oil producers and banking and insurance stocks, which attracted some buying. So the market finished just in the red today, but over the course of the last week, it's improved by about 1.5%, which is its best 5-day performance in about a month. So the market really does need a shot in the arm again to get moving, and that will be provided by the profit reporting season, which gets underway at the end of the month.
We'll look ahead to that. Thank you, Tom. Comsec's Tom Petrovski. The Australian share market, as you mentioned, ended the week on a flat note, the All Ordinary sliding 3.5 points. Despite a strong lead from Wall Street, the fall in oil prices overnight dragged energy stocks down, and there were no big movers to counteract that. Resource stocks also fell while the major banks had mixed fortunes. The Australian dollar is back below the 75 US cent mark, while gold is down to $418.90 US an ounce. Confirmation today that the Commonwealth Bank's outgoing CEO will walk away with an impressive $17.5 million when he leaves the job in the next few months. The payout includes super benefits worth almost $12 million. The bank has confirmed new boss Ralph Morris will start at the end of September. The wait is almost over for Harry Potter fans around the world. Young bookworms are counting down the hours until they can get their hands on the latest in the blockbuster series.
It's Harry Potter's 6th year at Hogwarts, and children of all ages can't wait for him to get back to school. The wraps will finally come off the latest volume in the J.K. Rowling series at 9:01 Eastern Time tomorrow. 10 million copies of the Half-Blood Prince are expected to be sold internationally on the first day. Dymocks bookstores alone expecting to move 50,000. The Brave Wizard's young fans ensuring the book flies straight to #1.
Well, it's really interesting. It's both mystery, adventure, and it's really exciting. They always leave you with something that you want to know that they only reveal at the end.
Harry Potter entertaining young minds like nothing before.
At the same time, has also captured the imagination of adults. So as they've gone through the series, children have been growing up with Harry.
Incredible security surrounds the novel. Bookstores required to sign strict contracts preventing them from selling or displaying the books before the release time. Somewhere in this building are more than 7,000 copies of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. But security around the release of this book is so tight, not even the packing boxes are marked, but they're in here somewhere.
We ensure that the books are well secured, and yes, we have people responsible for making sure that those cartons are not opened until 9:01 tomorrow morning.
Despite the security, we do know one twist. A character is killed off, but just who remains a secret. For another few hours at least. Tim Potter, 10 News.
Now some Australian stars as you've never seen them before. The celebrities ruffling a few feathers after posing in a controversial magazine shoot.
It's a long way from Ramsay Street and a far cry from his days as television host. But playing Jesus in a controversial magazine shoot was second nature for Aussie heartthrob Daniel McPherson.
I moved to London and played Jesus in Godspell.
The double-page spread for Cream magazine recreates one of Leonardo da Vinci's most famous paintings, The Last Supper. Publishers riding on the success of bestseller The Da Vinci Code, aiming to create religious debate. The most significant change to the original masterpiece, replacing John the Apostle with a dark-skinned Mary Magdalene.
If anyone gets a bee in their bonnet, they're actually going against what the basis of religion is supposed to be.
Also involved in the Renaissance shoot, singer Tammin Sursok, the former soapy star, aware the pictures will spark controversy.
I think, you know, it's important to have young people doing this sort of thing so people are interested and ask themselves questions.
But members from the religious community are refusing to comment, labelling the magazine spread a blatant publicity stunt. But there's no denying it is causing a stir in the community.
Oh, good heavens, no. Oh, this nice black woman inside there?
I'm not a Christian, but I would think it would hurt sentiments.
Catherine Robinson, 10 News.
The weather's next, and then it's sports tonight with Bill Woods. And Bill, two of the great AFL clubs met tonight.
Yes, Deb, Collingwood and Essendon. This was a rare occasion. Neither club in reach of the top 8.
But as usual, the engagement was fierce.
Lloyd gets it up to Lucas, has the shot at the goal, dribbles it through.
In the NRL, the Bulldogs did have a top 8 spot in mind against Penrith.
Now coming to centre field for Wesser. Wesser gets straight over for Penrith.
And they're hunting a tiger in the British Open.
Give it 5 seconds.
Until what?
Until he notices there's a
bikini contest.
Sunday, bad guys aren't the only ones with killer secrets.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
No.
All new NCIS, 9:30 Sunday.
At Discount City Carpets, during their mega stock take sale, twist the salesman's arm and save really big. Pay now and save up to $1,350 when you floor cover your whole house. Discount City Carpets mega stock take sale on now at all branches.
The Subaru Impreza, the Citroen Zara, the Escort Cosworth. Start your rally car collection now. Every fortnight you'll receive an authentic quality rally car replica, plus a fact-packed magazine featuring the drivers, the history, the details, the cars. Get issue 1 with your model Peugeot 206 at newsagents now for just $7.95.
It's deluxe, it's deluxe, it's deluxe, Hungry Jack's.
Flame grilled beef. Cheese. More beef. More cheese.
I like that.
Bacon. Tomato, lettuce and mayo. That's Hungry Jack's Bacon Deluxe. It's delish.
It's deluxe, Hungry Jack's, Hungry Jack's.
The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
8300 8300. This telephone number could save you thousands of dollars. Call the team at Bernie Lewis Home Loans, South Australia's largest independently owned mortgage broker. We could save you thousands with the right home loan. 8300 8300. Our service is free to you. So what have you got to lose? Put us to the test today and see for yourself. Bernie Lewis Home Loans. 8300 8300. Service, experience, integrity. Open 7 days a week.
Wholesale panic!
Stock take reveals lounge excess.
Must clear, huge savings. Sofas from $249, recliner suite from $999, 100% leather, 2-piece chase only $14.99. Plus no interest, no payments till 2007 with no deposit. The coin.
Before we go, a quick look now at tomorrow's weather, and it should be mostly sunny from Cairns down to Brisbane and on to Sydney. Late showers are expected in Canberra and Melbourne, mostly sunny in Hobart, windy and wet in Adelaide, clearing showers around Perth, and mainly sunny for Darwin and the Alice. That is the latest from the 10 Newsroom. Stay with us. Sports Tonight with Bill Woods is next. I'm Deborah Knight. Thanks for your company. From all of us here at the Late News team, have a great weekend and a great evening. Good night.